it's Kat. So today I'm going to make a card, and I thought that I would share that process with you. I'm going to be using Mama Elephant's Up and Away stamp set, which is really cute and has some cute sentiments. And I also have the new pop-up die, Mama Elephant pop-up die. And it's actually 3 dies. Each one of these is a different die, so you can create 3 pop-ups in one card if you like. And stay tuned, because at the end of this video I'm going to be giving away 3 of these pop-up dies. So I will tell you in the video when I'm doing the voiceover how you can win one of these dies, okay? Alright, so I've got the matching Mama Elephant dies that go with the stamp set, and I'm going to be using those to Copic color. So I'm going to put you on fast forward and let you watch. Thanks for watching, guys. Okay, so I'm still getting over this virus, so I hope you guys will excuse my voice. And I've also got a fan going in the background, but it's really hot here, and my St. Bernard is laying in front of the fan, and I can't bear to turn it off, so hopefully it won't make too much noise for you. So I've got this Mama Elephant stamp called Up and Away, and I'm just stamping the little monkey, and the first time I didn't stamp it well, so I just stamped it again. And I'm using black Memento ink, and this is Copic Expressit paper that I'm using, and I'm just grabbing a couple of brown shades of Copics to color my little monkey with. And I'm no Copic expert. I'm actually taking a Copic class right now called online, what is it called? It's at onlinecardclasses.com, and it's called Copic for Card Makers. And although I've been coloring for a few years, I never took a class, and I'm not very good at it, so I just figured that it wouldn't hurt to take a class. And I'm already learning a lot from it. So if you guys are looking for a good Copic class, I really recommend that one. And it's taught by Sandy Alnuck, Jennifer McGuire, and Christina Werner. So as you can see, I just flooded my image with a base color, which was my lightest color. And then I went in with my darkest to do an outline, and then I just added the medium color to kind of blend it all together. And at the end, I blended it all with my lightest marker. So I'm going to basically do that same technique for the rest of my monkey. And I'm not real good yet at figuring out where shadows go, so I just kind of guess. And it usually works out okay. The smaller the image, the easier it is for me. It's the larger images that I seem to have trouble with. So I know that you guys have noticed that I've not been doing a lot of scrapbooking process videos lately, and that's usually my thing. I'm kind of taking a little bit of a break from scrapbooking. I've been really into card making lately, and I've been really busy with the Stamping Enablers group on Facebook and just real life in general. My mom had surgery recently on her back, and you know she has Parkinson's, and so I've just been kind of focusing on family and things like that. But I will be back with scrapbooking videos someday, just not right at the moment. So I'm finished coloring my monkey, and I'm just going to die cut him using the matching dies. And I've got some frog tape here that I'm using to tape it down. And I cut out a little flower and colored that, but I didn't show that because it's such a tiny little image. And I just kind of glued it into his hand. And now I have the Avery Elle Everyday Collection. It's a 6x6 paper pad. And I use my MFT Inside and Out die, the rectangles, to die cut a little layer for the front of the card. And now I'm stamping the balloons, and I'm using Memento ink because I'm going to be Copic coloring. And I'm just going to take some colors. I'm not real good at picking out the different colors for Copic coloring yet. So what I do is just practice like on the side of the paper to see if the colors are going to blend well or not. And that's what I was doing by scribbling these yellow colors. And yellow is a really hard color for me to blend with. I have not yet mastered yellow, so I just picked out 2 yellows, and that's what I'm going with on this balloon image. And I'm not doing any fancy shading. I'm just doing a little bit of shading. It's a 2-color shading, so. So as you notice, I went back in and just added a little bit more shading because I just wanted there to be a little more contrast on those balloons. And I probably should have left it as is because it looked a little bit better until I went in with my lighter color, and then some of that contrast disappeared. So now I've got 2 colors of purple, and I'm going to go in with my lightest shade, and then I'm going to add some shading with the darker. I almost went in with the wrong marker there. And luckily balloons is one of the things that was covered in that Copic class that I'm taking. So I kind of knew how to color a balloon. They're kind of easy anyway because they're just circles, you know. So now I'm using one of the techniques that I learned in the class, and that's tip-to-tip coloring. And that's when you have a light marker and a dark marker, and you don't necessarily have a color in between. So you touch the tip of the lighter marker to the tip of the darker marker, and you color with it, and it kind of makes a medium color. And that worked pretty well for the purple. And now I'm working on the pink color, and pink is another difficult color for me. I have a lot of pink Copic markers, but I have a really hard time putting them together for shading. And then I've got one more color after this, and I decided to go with like a lime green. So I just used 2 colors again. And once I learn more about picking the best colors to go together, I'll do better shading, but I'm still learning, so. Okay, so now my balloons are colored, and I'm going to use the die to cut out the image. And this time I used some Post-it tape. It's like some skinny Post-it tape that I have. And I prefer that to the frog tape. I like the frog tape too, but it's a little bit too sticky. So I really prefer Post-it tape. So now I'm looking at the front of my card, and I am trying to decide where I want these balloons. This card, I have to admit, was a total disaster. It was like one mistake after another, and I did end up tearing the card apart twice. And I was so stubborn, I just did not want to waste what I had done. So I tore it apart the first time, and then I messed up on the inside, and I tore it apart again. And then I just kept using the parts that I liked to remake the card, and it did turn out to be passable. So it's definitely not my best card, but I really think that I salvaged it. So that's kind of why I'm sharing it with you today, just to share the fact that, you know, you don't have to stop and throw away what you've done so far. If you mess up, you just keep going, and sooner or later it will turn into something that you can use. So I needed the strings to the balloons, so as you can see I used VersaFine Onyx Black ink to stamp the image on the front of the card, and then I just glued my balloons on the top. I was going to use foam tape, but then I decided not to because I'm going to be mailing this card. And then I think I took my Wink of Stella, I did, and I refilled it with water because it had gone empty, and I colored the balloons with the Wink of Stella, but I don't think you got to see that. So I'm using my 10-second bow maker now to make a little bow, and I'm not doing it the right way. I'm just making a teeny tiny one, so I'm just using the stick to hold it. And I'm going to glue that onto the base of the balloons, and I'm going to do that using some Ranger Multi-Medium in matte finish. And you'll notice I have on the tip of that bottle, I have the Quilled Creations Precision tip, and it keeps it from getting clogged. And it's one of the best things I've done with my glue, because it was such a pain before with my glossy accents getting clogged all the time, and ever since I added those lids, they don't clog anymore. So now you just saw me using my score pal to score the new card base that I created, because this is after I tore the card apart the first time. And my bow came off, so I'm adding a little bit more glue, and I'm just going to stick that back onto my balloons. And I'm going to put an acrylic block on it this time to hold it down until it dries. Excuse me. So you kind of see I've got a bunch of stuff out on my desk, and that's the mess that I've made from recreating this card so many times. And now I'm cutting, this is going to be a pop-up card, and I'm using the new Mama Elephant pop-up die, and I'm also giving away 3 of them in this video, so stay tuned because I'm going to tell you how to win one of them. So I'm creating an inside layer for my card, and you need to do this when you're using that pop-up die. And you're going to see when I use the pop-up die, I'm going to tape it halfway where the little mark is, but I'll show you that in just a few minutes. Right now, I've decided that I want there to be a little bit of a background, well, not a little bit, a lot of a background on the inside of my card base, because I didn't want it to just be plain white. So what I did was tape it down with frog tape, and I've got 2 colors of Distress inks, and this is where I messed up again, but I used it anyway. I meant to grab my Tumbled Glass and Broken China ink, and I grabbed Salty Ocean by mistake, and you're going to see how dark it is, but I think it worked out in the end anyway, and I used it. But I didn't expect it to be so dark, so you see all the little circular motions on the paper that you're not really supposed to see. I haven't mastered ink blending either, so I just do the best I can, and it's a homemade card, so nobody's really going to say anything like, oh, I see the ink blending tool marks, you know what I mean? So I'm going to go ahead and blend this with a couple of colors. I'm using the darker color now, and then I'm going to go in with my lighter color. And I believe that one is Broken China. And now I've decided I want to do the bottom part green. I'm using my absorber to wipe off my mat. And so now I'm going to use peeled paint and mowed lawn. And I didn't really like the way the peeled paint looked, so I didn't use very much of it. I used more mowed lawn than peeled paint. See, I didn't use very much. I just went straight to the mowed lawn. So I'm just going to go ahead and cover this end of the paper with the mowed lawn ink, and then I'll have my background set. Excuse me. So I'm using my absorber again to clean up my mat. And I really like that a lot better than baby wipes because it's reusable and you can rinse it out at the end of the day and reuse it, and there's not as much garbage, you know, that kind of thing. So this is where you're going to see, I'm going to take a snapshot real quick right there where I tape it at the halfway mark. And you're going to line the halfway mark up with the middle of the paper where the paper bends, and that's where you're going to die cut. So then once it's die cut, I'm scoring it so that the little pop-up part sticks out. And it's really easy to do. And now I'm going to glue it to the inside of my card. And just make sure when you glue it down that you don't put any adhesive on the pop-up part, because you don't want that sticking to the inside of your card base. That's really important. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is glue my little monkey onto the pop-up part. And what I did, instead of putting adhesive on the monkey, I put it on the little pop-up part, because if I put it on the monkey, it would stick to the rest of the card, and you don't want that to happen. So just put the glue on the little pop-up part. So now I'm tearing the front of the card apart again, as you can see, and I couldn't get the layers apart, so I just decided to cut it off. So I'm cutting it off, the yellow part off of the white, and I'm going to stick that down on my new card front. And I'm sorry that I cut out the parts where I messed up really badly, but it took so long to make this card. It was like an hour long. I did not want to have a really long video, so I just showed you the necessary parts of the video. So now I've got my little monkey popped up, and as you can see, when you open the card, he pops up holding a little flower, and I think that's adorable. And I'm using my W+9 Stitch Sky dies. I needed some clouds for the background of my inside of my card. So it's a new die, so I'm just cutting it apart with my snippers right now. And I'm going to die cut a little sun out of some yellow paper. Isn't that cute? I love the stitched clouds and the stitched sun. So to make it more realistic, I'm cutting the clouds off and kind of making them go off the sides of the page, because I think that looks a little bit better. And I'm just going to glue down the background with my clouds and my sun. And then the inside, the top inside will be finished. And then I can work on the greeting. I just get a kick out of the inside because I think it's so cute. Excuse me. I'm sorry for all the coughing, guys. Okay, so I've got this stamp set by Simon Says Stamp called Sending and Wishing, or Wishing and Sending, something like that. And I'm using W+9 Piggy Bank ink for the little banner. And then I'm stamping You the Happiest Birthday. So the front says Sending, and then the inside says You the Happiest Birthday. So I'm just going to cut that out with my scissors, and then I'm going to glue that to the inside of the card, and then my card is actually finished. So I'm just going to show it to you up close right now. And thanks for sticking with me through this with all my coughing. I hope you guys are doing well. And in order to win the pop-up die, all you have to do is comment on this video, and I will wait about 5 or 6 days, and then I'll choose 3 winners. So thanks guys. Have a great day. Bye.